Good afternoon, everybody. It's Hunter Elliott with rangehot.com. Hope you're doing well. This afternoon, I'm finalizing my review of the Tandemkross Ultimate Trigger Kit for the Ruger 1022. First thing I want to show you is I got my old antiquated late 90s Ruger 1022 here. Got the 10-round detachable box magazine is out. I do have the bolt locked to the rear, and I have verified this little rifle is clear, so we know she's safe to talk about. Before we jump right into the review, if you've been following Range Hot much at all, you'll notice that I have been working with Tandemkross for some time now, doing several reviews for some of their upgraded parts for the Ruger 2245. So I've worked with them long enough to realize that they do make some really high-end quality aftermarket parts for several different platforms, several different manufacturers. So when I had the opportunity to review this Ultimate 1022 Trigger Kit from Tandemkross, well, I knew right off the bat, more than likely is going to be good to go, good quality material. So I had pretty high hopes. Now, I've got a very modest collection of Ruger 1022s. They're actually really nice little rifles. Like I said, I got this one in the late 90s, and I'm going to be honest with you, the factory trigger on it was not great. It was about 8 pounds. It was a little gritty. Not to put too fine of a point on it, but it sucked out loud. So it was by far the worst trigger of the 1022s that I've got. So I thought, you know what, this is a prime time candidate just to see how much of a difference the 1022 trigger upgrade from Tandemkross would be. So took it apart, went to install it, had a little bit of a snag. Full disclosure, here's what happened. This 1022 has the old metal trigger housing, trigger assembly. At some point, Ruger did a line change, and they changed the diameter of the pin to 0.010 of an inch smaller. So when I went to put everything together in this rifle, my trigger pin was 0.010 of an inch too big. Guess what? No work. I got on the horn to Tandemkross. I explained to them what was going on. It was actually something that they were actually looking into. I made them aware of it. So it looks like if you've got the older Rugers and you want this trigger kit, which I would certainly recommend, you're going to want to call Tandemkross first and make sure you get squared away on what it is you need exactly. Now, I didn't want to do all that. I'm hard-headed. I was ready to get this done and over with. So I just took the whole kit down to Barnes Precision Machine. Andrew chucked it up and boarded out 0.010, got the pin all squared away, come back home, put it back together, good to go. Assembly, well, you know, the little 1022 is not an overly technical rifle, and I certainly do not mean that as a slam against the 1022. I like it simple. Simple is good. I'm simple. I'd like to think I'm good. That's up for debate, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a damn trigger upgrade. So keep focused, Hunter. Good to go. Like I said, the factory trigger on this was about 8 pounds. It was pretty sorry. Once we got it all installed by following the video on the Tandemkross website to install this, as a matter of fact, they've got videos for all the parts that they make to install on whatever rifle or handgun you're upgrading. The videos are really easy to follow. They're nice and clear and concise. If I can do it, look here, anybody can do it. It was a flathead and a couple punches, not bad at all. It brought the original sucky trigger from 8 pounds that was pretty gritty with some over travel and take up down to 3 pounds as measured averaged on a Lyman mechanical pull gauge, but the over travel and take up was cut down exponentially. Also, there is a little over travel adjuster. So if you are running a really high-end, nice, dedicated target 1022 with your heavy bull barrel and your fancy stock and all that good stuff, then you can actually dial in that over travel a little bit more. But man, I'll tell you what, when I got this dropped in, just the way it come from Tandemkross, I was pleased as punch. It was a serious upgrade, so I did not fool with it after that. I'm like, man, this is fine, this is good to go. Now we did take it out and run several magazines through the rifle with just standard 22 long rifle to make sure that we weren't getting any kind of light primer strikes or any kind of issues or problems with reliability. You know, you think about it, you cut 5 pounds off your trigger, you cut your daggum take up and over travel in, you know, over 50%, you're gonna make sure everything's good to go. And it was. No problem on that. The little rifle's been reliable since day one. The upgrade just made it a little mo better, if you know what I mean. Speaking of the trigger, let's talk a little bit about that. Now, the trigger face itself is flat, and it is serrated here so you can get a good, solid, consistent purchase using the pad of your finger. consistency is accuracy. So that is certainly a good plus the way this trigger is designed. Tandemkross did redesign a little bit of the hammer and sear, so it cuts down on some of that grittiness. Here again, no problems with reliability, it's just an upgrade. A little bit better tool steel material used in that. The trigger spring is also upgraded, and so it takes the place of the old trigger spring and plunger spring, and so now you've got a really nice upgraded spring steel trigger spring for that. So you've got a lot of parts here that are going to work in concert together to greatly upgrade your trigger pull. Now, when it comes to accuracy, like I said, consistency is accuracy. One of the first things that I would upgrade on any firearm that I'm looking to get a little bit more accuracy out of, well, it's going to be sights, the quality of ammunition you're running, and your trigger pull. You can have a really, really nice rifle, glass bed, match grade bull barrel, wonderful optics, using grade A match grade ammunition, but if you got a pretty sorry trigger, you're going to struggle. So that would be one of the things that I would probably consider upgrading first. Like I said, Tandemkross makes good stuff, so it just makes good sense to where if you're going to go ahead and get started on a couple upgrades on maybe your old 1022 that needs some love, like this one, yeah, that was a pretty good fit. As always, this is just a video overview. There's going to be an article on rangehot.com with a lot more of the technical specifications, as well as links over to the Tandemkross website and the videos and that sort of stuff that they've got. So if it's something that you think you might be interested in, check out the article on my website, rangehot.com. Maybe follow some of those links over to Tandemkross website, look at some of that sort of stuff, and that way you can get a real good idea where you're at with this trigger. Retailing this is going to run about $135, which is not bad considering what you get. Me, I'm pretty satisfied with how things worked out, but I would love your feedback. If you're watching this, you got a question, you got a comment, you got a critique, let me know. You can find me on all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, all that sort of stuff. Let me know what you think, good, bad, right, or wrong. I appreciate feedback. So that's all I got, y'all. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. Look forward to seeing you at the range.